In this video, we're going to take a look at the other square of a binomial pattern. In the last video, we focused on what is a plus b squared. In this video, we're going to look at what happens if we do a minus b squared. Just like I mentioned in the previous video, you cannot just distribute this squared to both of these terms. It's not going to be a squared minus b squared. You want to view this as a minus b times the quantity of a minus b. So anytime you square something, you are multiplying it by itself. And now let's just go through the foiling process and get this. So I'm going to distribute my a. This is the f part of FOIL. A times a would be a squared. This is the outers. This is the O part of FOIL. A times negative b will be minus ab. I part of FOIL, the inners, negative b times a. Once again, that's going to be minus ab. And negative b times negative b. And negative times a negative would be positive, so I can just view this as plus b squared. These are like terms. I can combine them. This is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So now I know my pattern is that the quantity of a minus b squared is the same thing as a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, and the quantity of a plus b squared is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. All right, let's try this with some actual problems real quick here. So let's take a look at what if my problem was the quantity of x plus 5 squared. So using this idea, I know that my first part of my trinomial, if I multiply this out, will just be x squared. So notice I take this first piece and I square it. Take this first piece and square it, that's x squared. Now the middle is the kind of the trickiest part. You got to take a times b, so you're going to multiply these guys together and then double it. X times 5 is 5x, double it, that's 10x. So this will be x squared plus 10x, and then the last part of this plus b squared, the 5 squared would be 25. So this would be x squared plus 10x plus 25. If I make one little change to my problem, and if I want to look at what is the quantity of x minus 5 squared, notice that all of these parts are exactly the same with the exception of this sign. The quantity of x minus 5 squared will just be x squared minus 10x plus 25. Now, let's take a look at this one the longer way, just to make sure that this was good. So if I have x minus 5, the quantity squared, that literally means the quantity of x minus 5 times the quantity of x minus 5. Going through my foiling process, x times x is x squared. X times negative 5, minus 5x. Negative 5 times x, minus 5x. Negative 5 times negative 5 is plus 25. I can combine these like terms. This is x squared minus 10x plus 25. Let's do one more real quick example. Let's say I had, I don't know, y minus 7, the quantity squared. So using this pattern, I know I'm going to have y squared, so square the first term, minus, because of this minus sign right here. So once again, this is the tricky part. Take a times b and double it. So multiply these and double it. 7 times y is 7y, double it, that's 14y. So it'll be minus 14y. And the b squared part, negative 7 squared would be plus 49. So the quantity of y minus 7 squared is y squared minus 14y plus 49.